Hi everyone, INN TV back in Gush Katif. Comics influenced by the Zohar and Be'el Milka, a new community in the Negev. This is Israeli Salad. Shalom and welcome to Israeli Salad. In the book of Vayikra, chapter 26, God warns the Jewish nation what will happen if they will sin. I will make your cities a waste, says God, and I will bring your sanctuaries unto desolation. In the next phrase, God continues to describe the desolation, and I will bring the land into desolation, and your enemies that dwell there will be desolate. The commentator Rashi explains that this is a blessing hidden in the curse. He says this is a good sign for the Israelites, he explains, for the enemies will not find any gratification in their land, since it will be desolate of its inhabitants. Rabbi Yosef Dov Soloveitchik related to that point and wrote, the land of Israel cannot be built by just any people or group. Only the Jewish people possesses the capacity to transform it into a settled land and to make the desolate waste bloom. This divine promise became a miraculous fact in the history of the land of Israel during various periods. Okay, that was a short Dvar Torah, a word of Torah, that I hope will convey what I felt after seeing the footage that our correspondent Kobi Sela brought back from his very unique visit to the Gaza Strip, to the remains of Gush Katif, more than a year since the Jews were expelled from their homes. With many fears, Kobi Sela and two other reporters enter the Gaza Strip through the Salah ad-Din road. This road splits the Gaza Strip from east to west. Majdi, the Arab escort and driver, speeds through the dirt blockades that were put up to prevent IDF armored vehicles from storming in. Today, they are slowing down our crewman's car. On the way into Gush Katif, the car stops by what's left of the bridge that the IDF bombarded to prevent the smuggling of Gilad Shalit, who was kidnapped from the area of the Gaza security fence. And so, as we can see, the bridge is demolished, but right under it is a road that is suitable for the passage of a whole battalion with no problem. This bridge is what's left from Kfar Darom. And this is what's left of the big bridge that Israel built in order to prevent confrontations with Arab residents. 2 cement monuments. This Arab post is using the same cement blockades that were used by our IDF soldiers until the withdrawal. However, there are no remains of the restaurant that used to serve the soldiers and residents. The entrance to Gush Katif. Same picture, many details missing. The road to Tel Katifa is still abandoned. And there are the water reservoirs near the Katif junction. Underneath them, desert. There were once colorful signs here welcoming visitors to Gush Katif. Even Shlomi Eldar from Channel 10, who brought Kobi Sela into the Gush, has a hard time identifying the area. Nothing left from all that was green and flourished. Even the trees were uprooted. Green, red, and yellow Gush Katif is now all earth brown. As Kobi enters what was once the community of Katif, he identifies the remains of his sister's home, a beautiful home with a flourishing garden and a flourishing family. Kobi calls his sister Liat.
אחותי, בסדר, תנחשי איפה אני נמצא?
איפה? ביד בנימין?
לא.
אז איפה אתה נמצא?
אני אתאר לך מה יש לי מסביב?
כן.
דיונות.
אתה בגוש?
מאחוריי יש הריסות של בית יפה.
קובי, אתה בגוש?
כן.
מה אתה עושה שם?
לא יודע, התגעגעתי אז באתי. מה אני אגיד לך ליאת?
מרגש, עצוב.
עצוב מאוד, אבל מרגש גם נורא. הבית כנסת שזה הדבר היחיד שרואים מהעין בית שלך, לא נשאר ממנו כלום.
At this point, the Channel 10 correspondent asks to speak to Liat.
האם אתם לא חיים עכשיו יותר בשקט ובשלווה מאשר במקום שבו הייתם חוטפים פצמ"רים?
קודם כל אנחנו חיים אולי בשקט אבל ממש בשלווה. אפשר להגדיר את זה כערש חיים מוחלט והייתי חוזרת היום ליישוב שלי.
The beautiful synagogue that was in use for only 2 years was left standing for the Arabs. Israel hoped that the synagogue wouldn't be harmed due to its sanctity. The Arabs thought otherwise. This is the graffiti they left on the wall, where the prayer books used to stand.
We will not forget our martyrs that fell and our prisoners that are in prison, the beginnings of our new state.
The kindergarten was left as a present for the residents of Gaza. The Al-Aqsa terrorists brought a bus here and established a training base, where the Badkat wipes factory once stood. They look at Kobe and the other reporters, but they don't come near. Cameras and microphones pose no threat. The hothouses were purchased by the International Bank. Today, this is what's left of them. At the entrance to what once Tel Katifa, 2 guards are posted. But what exactly are they guarding? Nothing. Since the Hamas government was elected and the Israeli government disconnected from the Palestinian leadership, the Arab residents are living poorly. But when asked if they missed the days when the Jews were here and they had what to eat, he says no. Netzer Chazani is totally abandoned, Ganei Tal as well. Now Kobe looks for what's left of Shirat Hayam. Shirat Hayam, the song of the sea. It seems like since Israel left the area, the sea is no longer singing. There are many Arab restaurants and tents on the beach that was once full of Jewish families, but there are no customers. Here on the way to Neve Dekalim are the remains of the gas station, the local club. And here is the Yamit Yeshiva of Neve Dekalim, its ruins. Maybe it was the Star of David's shape that bothered the Arabs, maybe it was the fear that the Jews will return and pray here, maybe it was just the most natural reaction for them. Just as the gates to the Gaza Strip were closed, the local Arabs destroyed this holy place. The sound of Torah is not heard here now. Robi Deutsch, the reporter for Kihila newspaper, is uplifted by a piece of Judaism he finds on the floor.
Look at what it says here. This is what you say on Pesach. This year we are here, next year we will be in the land of Israel.
From the yeshiva you can see the building that housed the municipality of Gush Katif. As opposed to the other buildings, this one was seriously renovated. This is the new local university. Here, Eldad asks his companions to be quiet. Not that there are any words that can describe the feelings. On the way out, Kobe has one request, to have one more visit to his sister's home in Katif. Turns out, it was worth stopping by again.
This is a decoration that was above the sukkah, and if they let me take it to the checkpoint, we will have a decoration for the new sukkah. Sad, but a sort of connection to what once was.
As the bumper sticker printed by the Gush Katif evacuees reads, Nizkor v'nachzor, we will remember and we will return. Now let's meet a very special artist. I met Avraham Guy Barchil a few years ago when I visited the International Comic Book and Cartoon Festival in Tel Aviv. Standing at one of the stands, he presented a comic book influenced by the Zohar. I continued into the festival to conduct an interview that I scheduled. That ought to be cool, I thought to myself, a comic book with spiritual meanings. Cool indeed. Our crew met Barchil in his studio. Avraham Guy Barchil is a Tel Aviv artist. Until today, Avraham has published 2 graphic novels. When studying art, Barchil was an observant, and it was actually the involvement in art, in finding the meaning of art, that brought him closer to Judaism. In the beginning, he had to clean out his inner and outer world to make the change in his life.
I emptied out my whole room. Everything was white. The walls were white. I took everything out. I left just a carpet and a mattress. I felt like there should be nothing else but Torah. I said, I don't want to create art. I don't want materialism, just spiritualism. And I lived like that and didn't feel anything was missing. I felt clean.
A year after he got married, Avraham felt that it was time to return to art.
It was a great revelation for me that I didn't lose my world. Here, nothing happened. Don't worry. You left that unconnected world and you met a new world that you've never met.
Barchil presents a fascinating connection between the world of visual art and the world of Torah and spirituality. He combines many techniques: drawing, sculpting, collage, and computer graphics. Barchil's books are based on the spiritual writings of the Zohar regarding the weekly Torah portions and the legends of the sage Rabba Bar Bar Chana.
When I'm learning a midrash, I see how the writings are so full of life and dramatic that I feel there's so much to express.
Today, Avraham is working on a storyboard for an animated film based on his books.
Because I come from 2 different worlds, my audience does as well. My readers could be even science fiction fans. They could be people who like philosophy. Even someone with no Jewish educational background can connect if he wishes to. He can learn and try to reach the deeper meanings.
Our next report is a total contrast to the difficult feature about the demolished Gush Katif. We will now meet a new community established down south on the Israeli-Egyptian border. We're now off to Be'er Milka. A new community on the Israel-Egyptian border, Be'er Milka. Be'er Milka, a communal agricultural community, is the 13th town in the Ramot Negev Regional Council. The 12 families of the community were living for the past 2 years in the nearby Hikmehin town, and 10 more families are now going through the process of absorption.
5 years ago, we heard about the idea to establish a new town, and right away we came and joined an initial group that got together spontaneously.
The communities plan to consist of 100 homes. Each home is a dunam large, around a quarter of an acre, with the possibility to build a rent-out unit and 18 acres for agricultural use. The Jewish National Fund has already prepared the groundwork on 111 acres, and the residents are already farming potatoes, pomegranates, and flowers.
When we first arrived, the place was empty. It all seemed so virtual. In the beginning, we lived in Kadesh Barnea and then in Kmein. There was nothing here. There's a unified group here that's going to put this community together. There's one family who has started building their permanent home, and I'm also in the process of building my home.
Around 45 permanent homes are to be built in the near future, and of course, it's not only about homes. A shopping area, a cafe, small businesses, and more are planned to sprout out here in the near future.
For a long time, we were ready with the suitcases, and my wife kept saying, "Come on, what's going on?"
I waited many years. My parents always said that we will be moving in a week, but no, it took some time.
היישוב במקורו הוא יישוב חקלאי, אבל החקלאות היא אופציה. זאת אומרת, זה לא חובה. מי שרוצה יש לו את האופציה לשטחים חקלאיים. מי שלא יכול לעסוק בכל מקצוע חופשי שהוא.
The community was established as an agricultural community, but agricultural involvement is just an option. Whoever wants has the possibility to receive agricultural areas. Whoever doesn't can work in any field he wants. The emphasis is the love of the Negev, the communal lifestyle, the togetherness.
בגלל חוסר הציביליזציה אתה יותר מתקרב למשפחה שלך, לקהילה שלך.
The remoteness of the communities in this area sometimes deters people, but the remoteness has its advantages because the lack of civilization brings you closer to your family, your community, and the towns nearby. It practically imposes on you to become part of the communal family.
Okay, that's all for this week. Join us again next week. Until then, from all of us here at INN TV Arutz Sheva, Shalom, and again, Shana Tova, good year to everyone. Chag Sameach. Bye.